Lee Shepard, a great side-by-side run out there for our Nostalgia Pro Stock cars. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, coming up down there in the safety lanes, it is going to be semifinals in Top Fuel Eliminator. And to tell you all about that, ladies and gentlemen, my new hero, here's Bob. No, really, it's my hero.
All right, thank you. Bob Frei, the voice of NHRA, here with us today. He was also the host last night, the MC of the award presentations, the honorees. He will be on the starting line a little bit later on when we do the Cackle Fest. But we're waiting for the sun to go down so we don't have to get out of the air conditioning too early. But, yeah, we're working on it. Top Fuel coming your way now. We had a bunch of upsets in the last round of Top Fuel Racing. We don't expect any less in this round. Behind the Top Fuel dragsters are funny cars, and we're going to have some great nitro racing action. Behind the funny cars are the Altereds. And the birthday boy, Ron Hope, was the quickest out there. He's getting his car through the lanes there. He'll bring it up. All right, we've got Top Fuel. Move it up. One car already in the water box, getting ready to go. The Running Wild machine, Brendan Murray. He's getting seated into the car right now. If you've never had the opportunity to get in one of these cars, it is a chore. They are tight. I've had the ability to be in a number of these cars to cackle them, and I'll tell you what, it's tough. These things are tight and tiny, confined. You can't be claustrophobic because these cars are not very wide. They are only as wide as your shoulders, if that wide. And in my case, there was other things that were wider than my shoulders, and it was tough getting in and out of these things. But it is a wonderful feeling when they're running. It's getting in and out that was the problem. The easiest car I ever got into was the Tommy Ivo car. For some reason, the smallest guy in the field had the biggest car on the inside. And I got in and out of that car without any problem. The tightest was the Addict fuel car. Now, what I've been in is nostalgia cars. And it was the tightest. And then you're in the fire suit that keep you from getting burnt, but the suit is umpteen layers thick. Now you think about it, you're a little warm in the stands right now wearing T-shirts. Think about these fuel drivers wearing these suits that are about an inch thick and a full face helmet with a mask on underneath that, plus gloves, plus boots. The outside temperature coming close to 95 degrees. Track temperature over 150. Inside the car, you're talking over 130 degrees. Over an average weekend, you lose about 5 to 10 pounds of water weight. All right, the running wild car finally coming out. Brendan Murray. Out of San Jose, California, Brendan Murray pulls up to the water. Brendan Murray and Haren began campaigning a very successful double B fuel running wild dragster 22 years ago. They switched over to Top Fuel after a number of championships in the double B category. He was the last one to get into the 5-second club, and that was when this car was powered by a Chevrolet engine. Although I do believe this is a newer chassis than what he was running when he ran the Chevrolet. His competition, James Young. James was the number 2 qualifier, ran 5:79 at 254 miles an hour last pass. Brendan, a 5:95, 213. Each one shaking their heads. Come on, guys. I'll fire. No, you fire. No, I'll fire. No, you fire. All right, the first one to fire is James Young. Brendan Murray now. Experienced driver. Brendan Murray, 56 years old. He doesn't have a room up there. James Young, 47 years old. Young, the younger of the two drivers. Murray out of San Jose, California. James Young out of Salem, Washington, Wisconsin. State-of-the-art in front-engine dragsters. Brendan Murray running wild. A Ruman chassis. Keith Bergen on the line watching as the chassis he built. Advantage negligible. Brendan hits the center line, and Young hits the wind light. 587 to a 656. James Young going on to another round at 252 miles an hour. Brendan Murray backs out to 152, 100 miles an hour less than James Young. James has a 089 reaction, Brendan an 083. 60 foot. Young was at 1.05, Brendan 1.07. At the 330, Brendan was gaining on him. He had a 2.6 to Young's 2.7. At the 8th mile, they were side by side, both at 3.9 seconds. Mile per hour, though, Young was at 203, Brendan was 196. At the 1,000-foot mark is where Brendan's car fell off, and it was doing 5.21 to James Young's 4.98. At the stripe, the final tally, James Young, 587 252 miles an hour for the win. Brendan Murray, a click off 656 at 152 miles an hour.
Hey, Bob, you know, that was a pretty remarkable thrash for Brendan Murray, because they had problems at the finish on the in their first round victory, so they were thrashing and buttoning it up as they were rolling up here to the staging lane. So a real remarkable effort just to make the call.
It is. And, you know, Brendan that's his team. They're used to doing the thrash. And they got it done, but it wasn't enough at this point. James Young going into the final round. But who's he going to meet? Is it going to be Tim Cullinan, or is it going to be Mindy Frei? We saw Cullinan take out last year's champion. No, that was Brendan Murray who took out last year's champion. Cullinan was quick. And Mindy Frei, your number 1 qualifier, is still in the hunt. Now, she's out of Los Angeles, California, qualified with a 568. Cullinan, a 590. He's out of Franklin Park, Illinois, a TFX 413. Mindy Frei is 419. They're both fired up. Cullinan goes into the burnout first. Does a short burst. That's unusual. Not even enough to smoke the tire. Mindy, on the other hand, does a typical burnout, shooting smoke high into the sky. But Cullinan just hits the throttle, bursts just a little bit, and nothing more.
Well, I'm sure that was not their plan, but, you know, we've seen plenty of times when a car did not do a good, strong, solid burnout, just a little blip like that. But, yeah, the condition of the starting line make or break whether that car can leave. Might be just fine.
Now the crew looking over, they're adjusting something. They're working a little feverishly there. They're not happy. One crewman running away, something not quite right. They've got something loose. They're trying to tighten it back up again. Mindy's team going strong, and it looks like Cullinan is out.
Yeah, they're unplugging the fuel line right there and running it out. They're going to back him up. And
Cullinan is out. He's shut off. Mindy gets a gimme into the final round against James Young. A tough break for the Cullinan team. Reaction 1.0 60-foot mark. Good, straight, smooth run, no smoke, 573, 220 miles an hour. What she needs just to move on to the next round. So Mindy Frei will be in the final against James Young coming up in just a little while. They're going to be back quickly.
Well, I guess that's the way you draw the ladder out. You got number 1 and number 2 matching up in the final. But there was plenty of tough competition to get to that point. So Mindy and James will make your final round.
All right, Nitro action not over yet as the funny cars come out. All right, a little bit of sweeping up there is Cullinan's car right on the hit. He didn't do much of a burnout, knew something was wrong. The crew and the team saw it. They had a bit of a leak, possibly a fuel leak. They're getting it mopped up right now. Obviously not oil because we'd have the whole crew down here with kitty litter. So this is just a quick mop up. We'll get ready for the funny cars. You got the Bartone machine, Sean Bowen doing the driving up against John Smith, the Anderson, South Carolina-based Challenger. taking on the Bartone Camaro. All right, so they got a little bit of stuff down there. They're going down there, and they're going to get it cleaned up. A little lacquer thinner going down there to get it cleaned up, so maybe it wasn't a little bit of fuel mixed with something else. Now, one of the things we know, we've worked Volkswagen races a number of times. And I know when I've worked the Volkswagen races, if we always knew when there was a leak or something, it was going to be oil. If there was water underneath a VW, we had to check the if there was water under a VW, we had to check the driver. Think about that one for a second. All right, a little mopping going on. The sidewalk Zamboni out there. The ride-on blower going there, the blow dryer. We'll get this cleaned up. Luckily, Cullinan did not go very far, and it's isolated to one small area. You see the crew working it. Now, they are professionals. Notice how they're mopping. These guys are professionals, guys. Do not do this at home. If you do this at home, your significant other is going to know you know which end of a mop to hold. Guess what's going to happen? Mops, brooms, all the same thing. Covering the tires up, keeping the sunlight off them so they stay equally cool, and then heat up when they want them. Crew working quickly to try and get this all mopped up. Don't want to delay the racing or you any longer than we need to. But lots going on tonight. We still have the parade, the Cackle Fest, all happening here tonight at Beach Bend Raceway, the 16th Annual Holley National Hot Rod Reunion, presented by AAA. We're sure glad you could be here for it. So in the water box in the right lane's John Smith out of Anderson, South Carolina. He's got the Challenger-bodied funny car. Going to take on Sean Bowen out of Goodrich, Michigan, the 69 Camaro-bodied machine. Sean Bowen qualified number 1 with a 587. John Smith qualified of 628, number 4th position, but he's run a whole bunch stronger than that. All right, well, the Friends of Earl Van Neff. The Friends of Earl Van Neff. Please come to the base of the tower at the back by the stairs. Earl Van Neff is here at the base of the tower. We need his friends to come to the base of the tower, the rear of the tower by the stairs. Please come. Earl Van Neff came here with a number of friends. We need his friends to come to the base of the tower, please. All right, we're going to present the car show winners to you in just a few moments. as the big tractor does its thing. And we believe the track is ready to go, so the funny car drivers and crews, they're getting ready as well. And we got the high sign from the crew. We're ready to go back to racing action. I'm Hot Rod Bob Beck along with Bob Frei and Warren Evans. We're keeping you informed with what's hot, what's not, and what's going on throughout the day. We want to thank you all for being here. D3 TV, you can catch all the action here today. Go to YouTube and look up D3 TV. Sean Bowen, Goodrich, Michigan. He's the first one to pull up to the car now. John Smith doing the same. Bowen was your number one qualifier with 241 mile an hour blast with 5.87 seconds. John Smith went 628, 197 miles an hour. But again, qualifying and the way they run in eliminations, they knew the issues they encountered. They knew whether they had to step up to tune up or step it down. They've watched the competition. They're adjusting the cars accordingly. We've seen a few upsets so far today. And like in the last round of Top Fuel, with Cullinan at a lead. Funny cars moving up. Bowen in the Budweiser lane. Smith in the Jakes lane. Teams coordinating it, saying, yep, we got you. Let's go racing. Smith with the hold shot. Can he hold on? He does. The upset. John Smith, 588, 243 miles an hour to a 601 at 232 miles an hour. I told you, don't worry about qualifying. It's what happens on the track in eliminations. And the Smith team definitely stepped up the game. 080 reaction to a 154 for Bowen. 1060 foot marks for both cars. 2.6 at the 330 for both cars. At the 8th mile, Smith was out in front to stay. 3.8 at the 8th mile to a 3.9. However, mile per hour was close at 194 for Bowen and 195 for Smith. At the 1,000-foot mark, Smith was ahead, 588 to a 601, and that is what they finished with. 588, excuse me, the 1,000-foot was 4.9 to a 50. So at the finish line, the quarter mile, 588 for John Smith. There's his crew. They're happy. To a 601 for Sean Bowen. Number one gets taken out by number 4. Now in the final round, it's going to be Dan Haren against Smith. Now Dan Haren, all he's got to do is break the beam. He doesn't have to make a hard pass. But Dan Haren wants lane choice. He was your number 2 qualifier. And today, who knows what the lane's going to be like, but he wants that opportunity to make the choice. Dan Haren out of Silmar, California was your number 2 qualifier with a 592 at 245. Experienced driver, has driven Top Fuel dragsters and funny cars. He's a Hot Rod Reunion in California racer, a champ. He took his dad's early Top Fuel front engine dragster with a short wheelbase and matched the original record Before anyone else was getting into the fives, he ran a 6:17 with his dad's original short wheelbase top fuel car. He's got well over 20 years of experience behind the wheel of nitro cars. He fires up. They call him Digger Dan Haren because he started out driving rear-engine dragsters. And the nickname for the early dragsters, besides being called slingshots, were diggers because they dig in and go. Dan Haren does his burnout. Doesn't look like he's going to hold back on anything for this pass. With the Camaro body car. He's got a Mustang body he uses as well. It just depends on who's the sponsor that time. And as you see, there's no name on the side of the car. This is out of his pocket. I ran an electrical contractor in the Southern California area just outside Los Angeles. Off the hit, he backs out at the 330 mark. He had a .99160 foot mark. Spinning the tires, he was still hooked up better than any other car out here today. He backs out and coasts through. All he wanted was a check, and whatever they've done, a .960 foot would put him out in front on the starting line as long as he gets a good reaction time. He was at 2.6 seconds at the 330 when he lifted the throttle. So we're going to see Dan Haren and Smith back for the final round of Top Fuel and Funny Car later on this afternoon. And not that far away from now. It's 4 o'clock now. Lots more going to happen. Fuel Altered Final coming up. Ron Hope, the birthday boy, in the Rat Trap. This car is definitely old school, and Ron has owned it. I believe he was the builder of the car back in the day. All right, Fuel Altered. Randy Bradford over in the Budweiser lane. Ron Hope, the birthday boy, here in the right lane, the Jegs lane. This is the final round. Ron Hope. Now, you look at the differences in the car. These are two early cars. But look at Ron's front suspension. Quite a bit different than any other car in the category. Now, he also uses a wider wheel track in the front than everybody else and a narrower track at the rear. This could spell for issues, but if you look at the way the cars have been running, Ron's been able to run downturn straighter than anyone else. Randy Bradford out of Camano Island, Washington. Ron Hope, Tennessee-based driver. I'd say he almost lives here locally. All right, so it looks like Bradford's going to take a single, and then Ron Hope's going to take a signal, and they'll come back and do a final when all the other finals happen. Comp Eliminator to the lanes. Comp Eliminator to the lanes, please. Comp Eliminator to the lanes. So Randy Bradford on a single. Down some heavy rubber as he leaves the line, keeps it straight, goes through the light, 645, 206 miles an hour. 645. Comp Eliminator, we need you to the lanes. Comp Eliminator to the lanes, please. Comp Eliminator to the lanes. All right, birthday boy, Ron Hope getting ready to go. Don Petnato from Fountain Inn, South Carolina, pulling up. So we thought Ron Hope was running up against Bradford, but it is not the case. Don Petnato in the 48 Topolino is running against Ron Hope. So we got Rat Poison against Rat Trap. They're going to be running right now. Don Petnato, 50 years young. Ron Hope, the senior, turned 74 today. Number one qualifier. All right, they fire up. AA fuel altered, nitro methane wild machine, short wheelbase, high horsepower. Just as much horsepower as you get in a top fuel car or a funny car, just a lot less wheelbase. And Petnato lets his turn out first. Ron Hope. Backs out of it. Hope drives past him. 650. 207 miles an hour to a backing out 738 136, and Ron Hope will be up against Bradford in the final round.
Do 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 do. Folks, another great show by the AA Fuel Altereds. Ron Hope on his birthday, getting the win. Kind of the Renaissance man. He's got a 200-mile-an-hour club from Bonneville. They're going down to get him in the white Ford van. Give him a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. One of the classic AA Fuel Altereds. Great job also here for Petty Autograph, and just a marvelous final round between two great cars, great teams who just love the whole history of drag racing, the AA Fuel Altereds. While we do a little regroup, of course, the further you go into the program, the tougher it is to keep cars coming out all the time. The cool down period for the cars, given a certain amount of time between the rounds, and occasionally you get a little downtime, but we're going to fill some of that right now with our winners in the Exalta Show and Shine competition. If you got a camera, you want to get ready. We got 25 or 30, I think it is, cars coming up that are absolutely just breathtaking. Some were picked by our honorees, some by our Grand Marshal. The Exalta folks, the staff from the NHRA Motorsports Museum, all do a wonderful job. And with about 1,200, I guess 1,100 cars that are in competition or on the grounds, it's almost impossible to wind up picking up a list where somebody doesn't say, wow, I thought that other car was nicer, this car, but it's the nature of the beast, you know. But it's a marvelous way to see the cars coming out. One just nicer than the other. Just interesting designs, innovations. The friends at Exalta just did such a great job. I talked about them at the Corvette Museum last night. The products that they offer are used by just about everybody in these cars, but they just love automobiles, they love cars, they love the car culture, and they've been such a great part of this hot rod reunion for quite a while. Tom Mellis is coming up, and every time you go back there in the booth, people are talking about the great designs, the great colors. And Tom, I just walked down through the list down there. I would take the last car in the list. It'd be nicer than anything I've ever had. Again, congratulations. Thanks to Exalta for all you guys do here.
Yeah, Bob, I tell you what, this is just a hell of an event. The quality of these cars here is second to none, and what a great group of people in this event. Just keeps growing, so we're always proud to be involved in this thing.
Well, you're one of the reasons why the show class has continued to evolve. And, of course, here at Beach Bend and this whole Bowling Green community, they can lay claim to having some of the best automotive events in the country right here, and you guys are involved with a lot of them.
You know, absolutely. We do this across the country, and by far Bowling Green always attracts the best of the best. So it's always a pleasure to be here.
Tom, I'll let you get up there on the starting line where you can make the presentations. I will tell you about these cars as they come up. And, folks, great opportunity to give these cars, these drivers, a nice round of applause as you take a look at them. Our first one coming up, Diana and Dennis O'Brien from Apaca, Florida, in the 1941 Studebaker Champion Gasser, the D&D team for Diana and Dennis as they come up, and just a marvelous vehicle as you take a look at this particular machine. Getting the trophy, a gorgeous paint job, your classic A-gas supercharged. License plates on it too. All right, coming up next, take a look at this beautiful Dodge coming up. And again, a street-driven Dodge with the blower on it, the Polara model. I went back and took a look at this back in the pit area. Bill Rowe with his race car. I'm going to get a quick word from him after he gets his picture. Bill, tell me just a little bit about the car.
The 64 Dodge Polara 500, pretty rare to this part of the country. Most of them are on the West Coast. It's got a 392 blown Hemi.
It's a marvelous car. And you drive it on the street? Build it for the street. Ladies and gentlemen, for all the Mopar fans, one of the great-looking 1964 Dodge Polaras. Mike Henry next. These are the top 25 that were picked up. Let me grab them quickly. What's up, brother? Tell me about the car.
32 Ford, Hilborn injected, M22 rock crusher, Winders rear end. It's a real hot rod.
Not much says more about hot rod in a 32 Ford, right?
There you go. Thank you.
Congratulations. What a beautiful automobile. If you take a look at this one, ladies and gentlemen, the paint on this looks like it's about 2 feet deep. Just a marvelous, marvelous vehicle. So if you love the classic hot rods, for all the Indiana fans, they got some great street rod cars up there in the Indiana area. This is one of them. Where do you see it come by? I mean, it's just absolutely stunning. The 32 Ford. Craig Grunkemeyer coming up next with his 435 horsepower, classic 1967 Chevrolet Corvette. Gotta love the side pipes. Got his 67 license plates on it, the 435 horsepower car, the 3 barrels. About as classic a Corvette as you're gonna get. Craig, the 67 Corvette with the big engine and the side pipes just screams hot rod.
Oh man, it was my dream car since I was a kid, you know, and I've had the car since '93. So, you know, my dream's coming true, baby.
It is marvelous. Thanks for participating here this weekend. What a gorgeous car. 67 Corvette, the 427 Tri-Power. Way cool. This car will be going to Indianapolis this year to the Nationals. Ted Novicki out of Greenwood, Tennessee, the 37 DeSoto, powered by the 265 Split Fire 6. An interesting combination right here for this team out of Indiana. You can't run into a lot of other cars that have the same combination anywhere you go, can you?
Yeah, we love our cars.
Tell us about the engine in this.
Well, it's a Chrysler 265 6-cylinder bored 80 over, hooked up to a T5 transmission out of a Mustang and adapted with air conditioning to a Chevrolet rear end.
Wow, it is breathtaking. Unique with the 6-cylinder. Gorgeous car. Give a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Coming down, Ted Novicki out of Greenwood, Indiana. Next up, Rick and LaDonna Wall. Wow, look at this truck. The Zoomy Special, a 66 Chevrolet panel truck. If you haven't seen this car up close in the pit area, please yo it yourself to go take a look at this. It is the root beer and silver colors by Wright.com. Air ride suspension. What a breathtakingly beautiful and unique vehicle.
Thank you very much. The guys that worked on the body and the paint really did a superb job to make all this metal this straight.
It is beautiful. It's not only straight, but the paint job is breathtaking.
Yes, it is. Even under the hood with that big block's all pretty and shiny.
That's wonderful. Marvin, love the dash, too. It's a shame the folks can't get to take a look at that. Gorgeous car, the Zoomy Delivery Service. Rick and LaDonna Wall, ladies and gentlemen. Bub and Lisa Craig. How about your classic 1955 Chevrolet Nomad wagon? I mean, absolutely stunning. The paint job on this car from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, as they roll it up. LS3 motor, stage 2, the Art Morrison chassis, custom interior, 5 years and 7 months to complete. We need 750 and 70 cars to the staging lanes, please. You need a station wagon to haul around all this hardware you're winning with this.
Yeah, we do. I've been coming up here since I was a kid. I've always enjoyed drag racing. My first year for this one was 2004. And we brought a car up this year we've been working on. Hey, man, look at us now.
It's amazing. High cotton. Great job. Beautiful car. Wonderful paint job. Beautiful car. Love the wheels. Chip Fuchs designed wheels, by the way, on that. Really, really cool. Ben Kaufman, one of the few cars that I went and took a picture of her trucks, sent to my grandson. He loves pickup trucks. He loves the green colors. Ben Kaufman, Fisherville, Kentucky. 1934 Ford pickup. Does the color of this have a name, the paint job?
Lime Time Green.
It is marvelous. And tell us about the engine.
It's a 416 stroker LSX 871 blower.
And how long have you had the truck?
We've just finished it. Holley Dominator ECU.
Well, it's marvelous. It's a beautiful truck. Thanks for bringing it out. Another Holley plug there as well. For all the Oldsmobile 442 fans, got to love the 442 of James Eaton. This the vintage 1969 convertible. What a magnificent automobile. He comes from Kentucky with a 69 car. Hard to find these cars in great shape. The convertibles even tougher to find. Tom Mello's presenting the trophy to him, and the Olds 4042. You're an Olds guy at heart?
Oh yes, got to have one. 442. Air conditioned, top down. I got a cruise.
Do you have any other Oldsmobiles?
No, but I have some Chevelles and wagons.
That's not bad. He's got Chevelle wagons, all kinds of cool cars. None of these guys have just one car. Beautiful convertible, the 442. Show your appreciation, ladies and gentlemen, the Kentucky car of James Eaton. We just love your 1933 Ford Victorias. This is the car of Walt Hensel, another Kentucky car. A lot of guys in that same town from Kentucky picking up the trophies here. Beautiful and subtle. Tell us about the paint colors.
That's a tangerine with what's called a gold dust. It's 33, all glass car, 350 Chevy, 350 turbo, 9-inch Ford, ride tech. That's pretty much it.
It's breathtaking. So this back-to-back cars from Glasgow, Kentucky. Walt Hensel with the 33 Vicky. Ladies and gentlemen, give a nice round of applause. That is just unbelievable. Marvelous car. A lot of Kentucky hot rods here. All right. Well, you got the old 23s, the 32s, and the high boys. Ray Finot from Hamilton, Ohio. The 55 Chevrolet. The 210 two-door post model. Got that great lift in the front end. It's got that classic look to it. Gotta love classic 55 Chevys. Tell us about the engine.
It's a 454. It's bored out 30 over. It's 468. 13.5 to 1 compression.
The interior looks like your classic 50s hot rodder.
Yeah, it almost looks like an old boat or something like that on it.
It's a marvelous vehicle. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing it with us. 55 Chevrolet from Hamilton, Ohio. Well, I'll see you 55 and raise you 57. Check out where the headers come out under this thing. From Butler, Indiana, the 57 Chevrolet Bel Air of Jeff Spencer from out in Butler. Well, we just saw that beautiful 55 go. Now the 57. Got the Tri-5 Nationals coming back here. I'll take a shot and guess you're coming back here for the Tri-5 Nationals?
Probably not.
Why not?
I just ain't.
You got so many beautiful things on this car. Tell us about the engine.
It's a 498 cubic inch big block Chevy. It's got the ones in it, Eagle crank in it, GMC aluminum heads on it, and it's got a 1966 big block Chevy tunnel ram on it.
Do you race this car?
Nope, it just got done.
It's beautiful. Looks beautiful. I know you want your card back, so there you go, Jeff. Great job. Wonderful car. 57 Chevy, your Bel Air, ladies and gentlemen. I asked him if he raced. It's got a roll cage. It's got nitrous in it. Almost seems a shame to waste a roll cage and all that nitrous and not race it. Still got sticker tires on that as he goes down the track. He talks about something that was just finished. Wow. Pontiac GTOs, mid-60s, the epitome of the muscle car. This one, the vintage 1967 car. There are a lot of great Pontiac fans around. Have you been a Pontiac fan for a long while?
Oh, yes. I've had this one almost 20 years now.
It is beautiful. Is it just undergone the restoration or painting? I mean, it looks like it was done this week.
It was done 8 years ago.
Wow. You ought to give your builder and painter a plug because this is marvelous.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Great. Love the Pontiacs. For all the Indian fans, your 1967 Daniel Rupp out of Ohio. Got a lot of great race cars, street cars up there in Ohio, like this one, 1946 Ford Coupe. You don't see a lot of them, or as many as you might think in the hot rod world. Of course, just coming out of World War II. Bob Kurst, the Mansfield, Ohio team machine. I love the different colors, and I like to ask, does this paint color have a name?
Dozer.
It is just a beautiful car. The engine sounds pretty neat, too. What's it got?
502 big block Chevy.
And you drive this on the street?
All the time, yes.
Isn't it cool? Very nice. Beautiful car. Got the Recaro seats in it, the special paint job on there. Bob Kurst, 46 Ford Coupe. Well, we haven't had a whole lot of late model Fords. We got one from the Ford family, the Mercury coming up. Love the old Torinos, the Cyclones. This like a pricey little car, a classic Mercury Cyclone, the 1968 model machine. Dan Rockwell out of Pennsylvania, back up in my neck of the woods. And what a gorgeous automobile. I said there aren't a whole lot of these cars out there. What was it about this car that attracted you?
I've always been a big Cyclone fan. I'm a big Ford guy, so I really liked the car. It came available 10 years ago, and I've been all through it.
Now, very few of the Cyclone guys have just one. Do you have another one?
I have a 64 Fairlane Post car, but this is a car I like to bring here.
This is breathtaking. Did you drive it down here or tow it down?
We brought more people this time than we could haul in the car, so we did trailer the car this time.
It's beautiful. Gorgeous car. The Mercury Cyclone, ladies and gentlemen, one of the classic cars from 1968. And I'll see your 68 and raise you 1969. The magnificent Ford Mach 1 Mustangs. This one with the 351 hood. Comes us Clyde and Catherine Dunphy from Pleasant Plains, Illinois. Complete restoration in 2015 by Hillier's Mustang Restoration in Plainfield, Indiana. Beautiful race car, the Mach 1. This was the 351 model machine. Little plug for your restoration guys. They did a great job on this car.
Yes, he did. We worked on it about 2 years, but we're real happy with it.
Do you have other Fords?
Yeah, we have an original 71 Model 1 that my wife bought new in 72 that I drag raced here this weekend. And we have 2 later model Mustangs.
Isn't that great? And he's even got a Ford shirt, for goodness sakes. Love those Mustangs. Beautiful car. Ladies and gentlemen, Clyde and Catherine Dunphy, 69 Ford Mustang. Well, the Corvette rolling up right now, the 1965 model. They got the red line tires and everything. Ricky Ransom. 1965 car. Wow. All craftsmanship performed by its owner, except the wiring and the interior. Entered in 4 shows and won Best of Show and a whole lot of them. So you did a lot of this work yourself?
Yes, sir, I did.
How long did it take you?
Well, my brother gave me this car when